Hi guys, my name is Megan and today I've got a Kindle comic book haul for you. Alright, so you guys probably remember the last Kindle book haul that I did, and if you don't, I will leave a link to that up above. But recently I've kind of fallen into like picking up a lot of ebooks, especially from the Kindle free section. I'm in the Kindle free section at least twice a week looking for books, and today we're going to go over all the comic books that I've downloaded recently. So I'm probably not going to go into too much detail about a lot of these just because there's so many of them. So let's just dig into what's on here. Alright, so the first one on this haul is going to be Blackbird. So I know I've talked about this one at least once, maybe twice. This is like an urban fantasy comic book, and the thing that really drew me in was the cover. The cover is stunning and I don't really know too much about it. So the next one in this haul is going to be Crowded. This is one that I've kind of wanted to get into for a while. There's like an assassination hit put out on this girl for, you know, being super popular on the internet or something, and it just looks really interesting. So the next comic book on here is going to be the Miles Morales Straight Outta Brooklyn first bind up edition. I think this is issues 1 through 5. So I'm not really into Marvel comics usually, but after I watched Into the Spider-Verse, I was really interested in the Miles Morales story, so I picked it up as soon as I saw it. So I'm really excited about it. So next up we have the first issue of Monstrous. This one has been all over everywhere for like a long time and people really love this comic book series. So I figured, you know, I'd finally give it a shot to see what it's all about. Next up we have Moto Crush. This one has also been on my radar for a long time. This one is also kind of like set in the future. It's like motorcycle racing and like cybernetic implants for people, and it's just, it sounds really, really interesting and I can't wait to dig into this one. So next up I have the first issue of the Rat Queens. So this is like a pirate, like highway robbery kind of thief adventure series that is all centered around women, and this is one that has been around for a long time too, and I've also heard some really, really great things about it, so I'm really excited about this one. So next up we have Saga. This is the first single comic issue, I think. It's not the first volume, but it is the first issue. So this one, Saga has been around for the longest time and I've always seen it. I've always kind of been interested, and I finally saw it for free, so I snagged it, and I'm really excited about this one because it looks so good, and you know, it's space and aliens and it just looks so good. So next up I have Shuri. This is the first volume of the Looking for Black Panther series. This is issues like 1 through 5, I think, and again, I'm not super into Marvel, but Shuri is a character that I kind of fell in love with after I watched Black Panther. So next up I have the first issue of The Old Guard. So as of filming this, I have not watched the Old Guard movie yet, but I saw the comic on the Kindle free marketplace, so I snagged it because I want to read this one before I actually watch the movie, and I'm really, really excited about it. Okay, so next up I have One Up. This is a manga one-shot. So this one just looked really interesting. It's kind of like these kids get sucked into a digital world and they kind of have to fight their way out. So this one I'm really excited about. I don't know anything about this. The cover looked really interesting, so I just kind of snagged it. Next up we have Black Cloud. So this one I know nothing about. I know it's kind of set in like a digital world, but other than that, I have no idea what this is about, but it looks amazing and I can't wait to see what it's about. Next up we have Exorcisters. So this is one that I've seen floating around for a while, but I don't really know a whole lot about it. I do know it's about two sisters and they are exorcists, and I think they take a trip to hell, but I'm not 100% sure, but it looks interesting. Next up we have The Family Thief, and the cover looked really interesting and it reminded me of the Shades of Magic series, so just kind of picked it up, but I think it's about a family of thieves and, you know, like carrying on family tradition, that kind of thing, I think. Next up we have Nomen Omen. This is one that I've seen floating around. I don't know a whole lot about it other than that it's an urban fantasy series and there's ghosts and stuff involved in it. So next up I picked up the first issue of Paper Girls. So this one I've heard some mixed things about, but I saw the cover and I just couldn't resist. So this comic book series kind of reminds me vaguely of like Stranger Things or like E.T. or something kind of like that. So the next one that I have on here is Pretty Deadly, and I think if I remember correctly this is about Death's daughter and like her going on an adventure in like the human world, and it's like vaguely Wild West inspired, I think, but I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. Next up we have Vagrant Queen. This one is kind of a science fiction space opera kind of thing. The main character is a princess in hiding and then she, you know, goes on adventures and stuff. So the next comic that I picked up was Wasted Space. This one looks really interesting, and I don't really remember too much other than that it's set in space and it looks awesome. And then the last one that I picked up recently was The Wicked and the Divine. This is the first issue in the series, so it's not like the first volume. So this is about gods that get reborn into society every couple of centuries or so, and this time around they get brought back into the world and they are pop stars, and then things start going wrong, and I'm really interested in this one. This one I cannot wait to dig into. All right, so those are all of the Kindle comics that I picked up recently. Have you guys picked up any books or comic books recently, or graphic novels? Let me know down below. If you guys like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. If you haven't already and would like to, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. You can also hit the notification button. And if you'd like to follow me on social media for more bookish stuff and bookish content, check out the links down below. There's also a link to the Black Lives Matter info card down there. Alrighty, bye guys.